Oh, YouTube, you God! Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today's video is going to be a little analytical, a little bit of me being angry, and a little bit of everything in general. So, yesterday, or 2 days ago at this point, I was sent a bunch of links through Twitter, specifically to a channel called Optimus, makes some pretty in-depth videos, which this one is inspired off of. Now, I've talked a lot about YouTube's nonsense, I've talked a lot about machine learning, and I feel like this is one of those things where I have my intellect on, and I have something to give, and I figured I might as well talk about it because it is definitely shady. And this isn't just YouTube, this is any website out there. But for those of you who haven't known, YouTube has these things called P-scores. Now, P-scores are kind of like the report cards that we all get handed out. Some of us are, brainless idiots, and some of us are excelling students, okay? But in general, we fit in and amongst those categories. Now, I like to consider this like a Chinese social credit system. Where it's, oh, you did something wrong? That wasn't cash money of you? Well, you go down in the credit rating. But, I guess the moment you, I guess the moment you do something good in YouTube's eyes, like, I don't know, like, whatever it is, okay, you're like a late night talk show host, and bam, you're flying through the roof. So let's get down to it. Now, the YouTube P-scores isn't some necessarily new thing that was crazy discovered. In fact, YouTube had a video a long time ago on the YouTube Advertisers channel, which has 300,000 subscribers. And this video has gotten, what, like 9,000 views and whatnot? So it wasn't exactly a poppin' video. I guess you could say the P-score for the YouTube advertiser team was a fucking 0. But basically, they talked about how they had a machine learning algorithm that basically took the top 5% of channels on YouTube and ranked them. Now, the way that these ranks worked is basically you had a tier list of how supported and unsupported a channel would be. So, for instance, you would be rated like you would be on TV. So you would have like safe in general for everyone, or you would have like, generally safe, moderately safe, on the middle, teen, mature, and then like, holy crap, get this dude off the network. So to put it into quick context, if you were, I don't know, playing Fortnite and telling kids to like, comment, and subscribe, and basically generally scamming them, I guess YouTube would put you at the top of the P-score list. Like, you'd be generally safe for anyone. Like, even fetuses could watch you. And finally, last but not least, if you were like Filthy Frank, where you were playing Deadly Twister, then YouTube would like put you into that holy crap, get the hell off of the network type category. So roughly that would be where it's at. Now, there's been a lot of YouTubers complaining about like their views and algorithms, and this whole P-score nonsense has sort of brought that into the limelight and said, you know what? Maybe it isn't just entirely our fault. Maybe we're getting screwed over on the platform that basically got started on the, what was that for? Oh yeah, for the creators. Not really, that's not true at all. No, not even close. That's the biggest joke that I've ever heard in 2019, by the way. Now, going into the whole YouTube algorithms changes, ladies and gentlemen, the way that this works is if you look into the P-scores real quick, there are 5 Ps. Think of these like the deadly sins almost, but basically how YouTube gauges you, your preference score, your P-score, is it looks at your popularity, so how many views you bring in, or watch time in particular, which we knew that's how the algorithm changed way back in, I think, 2013. So you've got popularity, right? Then you've got passion, which apparently is how many comments, likes, and shares you bring in, viewer retention, things like that. And then protection, which is how content friendly you are. Platform, which is how often you're being watched on stuff like televisions or mobile devices or your computer screens. Basically, it gauges you on how successful you are, when you amalgamate all the platforms that YouTube is on. And then finally, the quality of video production. So do you sound okay? Do you look okay? Do you have your strip club lights completely calibrated? I mean, it calculates all of it through machine learning. So using all of this, it gives people a P-score. Now, I wouldn't be totally against that either. I mean, I get that it's a very complicated way to gauge someone. I understand it. But when you see that PewDiePie isn't entirely at the top, given the fact that he probably reaches all 5 of these, maybe not the whole, protection category, but all 4 of these, he's pretty much excelling at when you look at just his raw counts alone. Why in the fuck is Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, okay, big-time TV shows, big-time TV late-night studio host, Will Smith, higher than him? That one doesn't really strike me as cash money. Okay, basically YouTube is promoting like big corporations, you know, these big television shows, these stars. Like next thing you know, they're going to tell you, hey, we have an up and coming channel. You may not have heard of this guy. Keanu Reeves is his name. That's what's going to happen in the next few years on YouTube. You're going to get a whole bunch of that. It's not just the algorithm, it's blatantly modifying this obvious like machine learning algorithm to just promote certain people to the top. And that's not what I'm okay with. That's completely against, you know, just the ethos of this like channel and like the ethos of this website and what it really should be for. Now, one thing that gets to me about this too is none of this helps YouTube, okay? On the surface level, if all they had was this machine learning algorithm, maybe it would be cash money, maybe it would be fine. But the thing is, this directly hurts YouTube. And I'm going to tell you how that happens. Back in April of 2019, there was an article that came out that basically detailed how Alphabet Inc. lost $70 billion worth of their market cap. Now, I'm going to give some quick stock stuff for you. For market cap's sake, what you need to understand is that's like the total valuation of a company involved. Alphabet Incorporation owns Google and YouTube. This is the parent company of YouTube who lost $70 billion on their market cap. Now, going into this, let's just go with how market cap works. So let's say that Jeff Bezos right now is like the most richest dude in the world. I think he's like 130 billion. The way that that's calculated is Jeff Bezos doesn't have 130 billion in his account. He doesn't have that money on hand. That's not money that he can just spend. That's not liquid change. So the way that they calculate he's worth that much is they say, okay, Jeff owns 15% of Amazon stock, right? Amazon stock, when you calculate all of the stock that Amazon has, its total valuation, the market cap, is over $1 trillion, which means that owning 15% of that company that is worth $1 trillion in stock, if you own 15% of that stock, you're like, what, 150 billion bucks rich? Which means that if that company loses like 200 billion on its market cap, you know, something happens, something tragic, Jeff Bezos loses 20% of his net worth in relation to that stock. So that's why when you look at these multi-billionaires in the world, you're looking at them owning these big companies and not owning them entirely, but owning 15% of it. Because even owning 15% of something like Facebook or Amazon or Google puts you at the richest bracket out there. So when you're owning these companies, it hurts you when your market cap has diminished like this. Now, the reason for this diminishing wasn't entirely YouTube, but a big chunk of it was. And it was apparently due to the fact that YouTube implemented these demonetization rules. A lot of it was to combat the conspiracy video nonsense. Basically, the whole idea was when YouTube went all uppity with the demonetizations, with censoring creators, it negatively affected them in a way where it reached their parent company pretty bad. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is for YouTube, your P-score nonsense doesn't help. Because at the end of the day, the only one hurting from this is not just YouTube, but YouTube's boss. And you bet when YouTube's boss is feeling pressure year after year after year, they're not going to shut down YouTube. No. This is way too important for them to keep off. But they're going to have to side with creators. They're going to have to side with people that are bringing in the $70 billion that they have lost. Because let me tell you something about the fucking world. It runs on money, okay? If you're losing your money, if you're losing your market cap, if you're losing your place in the tech companies, trust me, there is no 30-view website on the mainstream media that's going to keep Google and Alphabet away from coming into this site with their goddamn pimp hands and bringing it back to the top, or trying to, or fix stuff up. It's only a matter of time. Now, this takes me to my last point, okay? And this is something that Optimus, Bo Blacks, and a lot of these YouTubers have covered. God, I hope I pronounced Bo Blacks' name right. The people that they push to the top, people like Jimmy Kimmel, all right? I'm not a fan of Jimmy Kimmel. I don't really find his jokes to be funny, okay? The only time the guy has ever made a successful joke, in my opinion, is when he's trying to make jokes, because just the act of him making a joke is somehow more funnier than the jokes that he pulls off. If that's throwing shade, guess what? It's 2019, okay? Everyone has a goddamn opinion. What I'm trying to say is, these guys already have successful television careers, right? YouTube is artificially inflating their channels. So when advertisers get pissed that their advertisements aren't too effective, it's because there are people on the YouTube side that are artificially inflating channels that people are going to tune off of, people aren't going to care about, people aren't going to interact with, okay? Some of these channels, you know, may have elements of botting. I can't even confirm that. But the point is, this is not advertiser friendly, because your advertiser is going to put a lot of money into YouTube, and when your ads aren't effective because you're artificially pimping out channels, then it's just going to be out there. If the machine learning algorithm, the P-score system, worked like it really should have, then basically it would be gathering the demographics of 18 to 25, and it would be taking ads that are targeted to 18 to 25 and pushing them out to the highest reach they can. Ladies and gentlemen, YouTube wants to be more mature in content, and they sent out emails to us talking about, hey, we're trying to make our monetization system friendly for people that are making mature content. But at the end of the day, when you have systems like this, it doesn't come across as genuine to people. Look, at the end of the day, and I know I said that that's my phrase of the day, but it's really important. YouTube, you gotta stop with this system. You have to stop catering to the corporations. It's only a matter of time before your top brass needs to have some form of their heads examined. Because when your parent company is gonna get that mad at you, when they realize how bad you're screwing up the system, I don't wanna be in that boardroom. I mean, I wanna be the fly in that boardroom because it's gonna be funny as hell, but I don't want my head being chopped off at that boardroom, okay? Like literally, figuratively speaking, of course. This is a system, the P-score system is utterly flawed in the way that they're presenting it, okay? Will Smith doesn't need to be pushed up, okay? He's already fine on his own. Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, all these late night talk show hosts don't need to be pushed up. They're absolutely fine on their own. What needs to be properly targeted for the advertisers and the viewers are the people bringing in the views, bringing in the organic views, bringing in the people that will actually buy these advertisements. That's what needs to be pushed into. I get pushing away really adult content. I understand that, and that's why one of these Ps is all about that. But it's very evident that the other Ps don't mean a damn thing when the numbers are being artificially inflated from behind the scenes. This is a website that was initially meant for people who wanted to broadcast themselves, okay? Like your average Joe channel, you know, going out, putting good content, blowing up the right way, and having a good time. But when you go out of your way to fight against that, who are you catering to? Obviously not the smart people, obviously not the side that's bringing in what's keeping you alive, YouTube, Google, Alphabet. I think answers need to be given, but ultimately I think at the final junction point, you need to realize that you have to side with the creators more than the mainstream media, more than just your average corporation, okay? When it comes to the people who want to sell stuff on your website, okay, and that's just a corporation, I mean the mainstream media in general, you don't need to fluff them up. They're on their way out, okay? At the end of the day, creators are becoming more powerful than the mainstream media that you're trying to aggregate to the top. And when corporations realize they make a lot more money, you know, their purchase on the Google advertiser platform is worth more because the algorithm actually works and it works the way that it should, then they're going to actually pump more money into this, and it's going to be better for your system. I feel like I should be the goddamn CEO of YouTube. I feel like I should be running this goddamn website, because at least at some point you need some idea, rationale behind the method to the madness that they're doing and they're pushing out to actually make something of this website. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's the P-score system. So yeah, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. You can't see what your P-score is anymore because of Optimus's video. This is a big point. YouTube went out of their way to completely hack the system within an hour. Like, they hid everything, they encrypted whatever they did, it's gone. So you can't even check what you did anymore. They hid their tracks well enough. But boys, once that rabbit hole is open, you bet your boy is going all the way down through it, through the ends of the earth. That being said, this is Mimuda. Next week, Death Stranding is out, so I can't wait to rub my nipples to that. This is Mimuda, and I am out.